Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's Trail247 back with another reaction video. We gotta do this reaction video on a Joe Rogan video on Astrophysicist saying basically stuff about aliens and stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of low key scared about all this shit going on. But y'all hit that like button, that sub button, that hype button, and y'all hit the comment if y'all really fuck with me, man.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I don't think we understand how the Big Bang went off yet. I think we need a ways to go.
Well, it's got to be so fascinating to you to know so much and yet still have so many things that we have no idea.
You know, that's I think you just hit it on the head about one of the most beautiful and one of the most frustrating and even scary things about being a scientist. You have to be honest about what.
And I'm gonna be 100, bro. All these scientists that are just coming up dead or missing, and most of them are being connected to the UFO files and everything that's been going on. It's getting kind of scary, bro, because it's like, damn, they really want to silence the people that really knew the most information. You know what I mean? And that shit not right, bro.
What you don't know. I mean, you have to say we made this measurement and it's real. Yeah, we fucking managed to see the event horizon of a black hole. We caught the same wavelength of light over thousands of miles. You can say what's real, and then you can say these are the things we do not know.
Facts.
And they are major. How did the universe begin? What happens inside a black hole? What happens inside a neutron star?
Nobody knows.
We don't have the ability yet to know. And it's hard for humans to stop there. And of course, we make better experiments. Find a better theory of physics. But for the moment, you need to sit with that uncertainty. There is no one who knows what happened.
No one knows. Not one person.
There are so many things in our life that I've had to confront where you have to become comfortable with stopping there, at least for now. I do not understand this. I do not have the answer to this, and I don't think anybody does. And I think we'd actually benefit a lot more in humility and joy and maybe even compassion with each other, if we can respect that stop and say, you may not have the same answer as to what comes next about life or death or the beginning of the universe or the inside of a black hole. We can respect each other.
Like, do y'all ever really wonder what's the inside of a black hole, though, bro? Like, I feel like the inside of a black hole might be like a different universe or a different type of dimension. You know what I mean? Because there's no way, bro. Like, there are billions of black holes, bro. Where are they going? Where's everything that gets sucked into it go? That actually meets the event horizon. Where does that go?
To me, I find a good discipline and the humility to stop and say, I don't know.
Well, it's very important because otherwise we're not going to believe you with stuff that you do know. There has to be some things that you can't know.
It has to be measurable.
Yeah,
So, and
especially in the current state of what we're able to measure right now.
Science is limited deliberately. And I think this is beautiful. I think people don't understand. There are things that are outside, at least for now, the realm of measurement. And that doesn't mean they're not real. As a scientist, I cannot say that there aren't, ghosts or, inside a black hole or alien visitations or whatever. There are all kinds of things that are wonderful to think about. What can you do a consistent experiment on that people all around the world could do the same experiment and get the same result?
Yeah,
that's science, and it's limited. I've had to talk to so many people that called into NASA saying they had profound experiences with time travel. Or
you had to talk to time travelers?
Oh, yeah. Or people
so
would call in.
Was there a time traveler hotline like Art Bell?
They would often forward the calls to me. And,
why you?
Well, I was doing communications at NASA. And I think they just didn't know what to do with these people. And I think they knew And I pride myself on this. I try to be kind. I try to lead with compassion. And I would listen to people's stories about, I traveled in time, or I was abducted by an alien, or many things. And, and I would listen to them. I think that what they mainly wanted to do was find somebody to listen. I would say to them, you have had a profound experience. You have experienced something that, I
Nobody
hope
else
you
does.
view as a gift. I would say that there's not
Yeah,
much as a
gotta be a gift.
scientist that I can do with an individual experience. I can't do an experiment on it. I can't have my colleagues all over the world do the same experiment about what
Facts.
did you have a spiritual experience? Did you have a profound feeling of oneness? I mean, it's not that these aren't real. Science has to be limited. Because just like what you said, how can you trust it, right? How can you trust people are saying? I mean, why are these people at NASA allowed to have telescopes and do all this stuff? I mean, what makes this worthwhile?
Facts.
You have to say there's a limitation. What do we have clear evidence on that everyone could do the same experiment and get a similar result? That doesn't mean other things aren't real.
Facts.
It means that science is limited to what is
What we can understand,
reproducible, consistently reproducible. And what a human experiences could be profound and real, but at the moment, not in the realm of science.
And at the same time, it could be so real to them to the point where it's like, let's say it didn't happen. Whatever experience that they experience could be so real to them. You know what I mean? That to they will drop dead admitting that this is true type shit. So it's like, you really gotta take everybody's story with a grain of salt. But it's like, it's too many stories that I believe in. Like Betty and Barney Hill. Like, there's a lot of stories that I kind of really made me shake my mind to believe this. You know what I mean?
So you're not discounting the possibility of people having profound experiences, but there's really no way to measure it
At the moment, no.
at the moment.
I mean, maybe when we understand the brain better, maybe if AIs are sharing minds, I mean, we're talking, incredible fun conjecture here. At the moment, we're limited with the tools of what is reproducible. I mean, if you observe in one direction with your telescope for a certain amount of time at a certain wavelength of light, you should see pretty much the same thing.
Right.
Whoever does the experiment. If you're doing an experiment with atoms or quantum mechanics or whatever, it has to be reproducible. That doesn't mean that profound things that are real are not there. They're just not in the realm of science right now.
Facts.
When you're communicating with people,
Basically, what she's saying is like, things people are telling her and telling other scientists, they can't explain. They can't explain it. They can't try to make sense of it because it's spiritual, low key. Like, a lot of stuff that we want to throw into the scientific world is a lot of spiritual shit. You know what I mean? Like, shit we can't control. And it's like, I ain't gonna say it's magic. I'm gonna say what it is science and mathematics fully understood. You know what I mean? Like, I really do truly believe we are a species of advanced evolution. I mean, you know what I mean. Basically accelerated evolution. I really believe that, bro. Because the way other animals evolve on this planet compared to how we evolved in this short amount of time to what we are today, like, everybody knows, like, the great ape theory and what we evolved from, but it's always one missing link. It's that one missing link that we don't know where it came from. Why do you think DNA? Why do you think DNA is always? It's like everything that's alive has DNA, and like, you know, DNA strand, most of them are 99% just like ours. Where did that 1% come from to make us what we are today?
Supposedly have had experiences with
No.
intelligent life from somewhere else, and you spend so much time looking up at space. Like, how much time and how much effort do you spend even considering that possibility of life somewhere else, or of whether or not these people have actually experienced visitation, or whether or not it's some sort of mental illness, or whether there's some kind of an experience that's available to people occasionally here that defies our understanding of what is measurable and what's reproducible, that
Absolutely.
there's something else out there?
I think that's a wonderful question, and I think this may give you a little bit of a snapshot of the culture of science and a mind of a scientist, because it's an odd little tightrope to walk. I'm very proud of it, actually. I think it's kind of beautiful. All of us, to a person at NASA, thinks that there must be life out there. The idea that there's only life on the Earth seems untenable. I mean, not only do you see the billions of stars in our own galaxy, but we see billions of galaxies. How could it just be us? How could it? We're all science fiction fans. We all love the idea of there being life out there. I always keep a bottle of champagne chilling. I have for decades now, in the hopes that someday we'll have a clear evidence of life outside the Earth. You know, we'll have a signal that we.
What are you willing to pop the champagne for? Is it molecules? Is
Yeah,
it
yeah. I'd
bacteria?
Well, definitely bacteria. I definitely pond scum, some little microbe on Mars. You got it. The champagne is coming out. And at the same time, there are the fantastic scientists of SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, who are scanning the skies looking for mathematical signals from civilizations. Mm-hmm. The question for me comes down to, again, what is a reproducible observation? And with the advent, the recent release of these videos from fighter jets and all of that, I think an interesting thing is that scientists at NASA, and the universities, we're not getting together over a beer and looking at these videos and really getting excited. It's not enough yet.
Me either. Like, when I be seeing the new UFO videos that be coming out and shit, bro, it's like it just look like a dot. You know what I mean? Like, I need real disclosure. I need to actually see one, bro. That's the only way I'm gonna truly all the way believe what the government is saying. Because I don't believe the government. I'm not gonna lie. I don't believe it is. Half of the shit that they say be lies. Half of the projects that they had in the last 100 years, 80 to 100 years, they lied about at first, and now they want to come out and tell us that these projects actually happened and were true. So it's like they will lie to the public for how long they want to until they feel like having actual disclosure. That's why everybody in the UFO world right now is like literally like they looking at all these videos that's coming out and shit, and it's like we probably done seen shit like that in the sky before, like that we just didn't know what it was. But it's like, bro, at the end of the day, we want real disclosure, bro. That will change the world, bro. You know how many religions and everything will change, bro, when we know that there's people up there watching us, bro, that are just they are us, but way more advanced. And I feel like they put they seed in a monkey and he turned into us. But let's keep going.
Things we can't explain, but we're trained as skeptical scientists to sort of stop there. Okay, we can't explain this. That next step, that this is an alien, we're not willing to go yet. We need more evidence than that.
The ones we see could have been driven by the army. Because when you think about it, Bob Lazar said 50 years ago, way longer than 50, like 60 years ago, what was going on, bro. And it's crazy because it's like the aircraft we see in these UFO videos move exactly how he said they move. You know, they call them gifts. Maybe we really finally figured out how to back engineer them. You know?
But as I said, that's a deliberate training of a scientist, is that skeptical stop. The people who have had experiences, and no, I'm not willing to dismiss them as being mentally ill necessarily. I honestly don't know what it is they experience. It is certainly within my realm of possibility that what they're describing actually happened. I cannot say that that's impossible. What I as a skeptical scientist, I'm stopped by. I would need more evidence than an individual experience. You know, this happens in many aspects of life. It's not just the visitation of extraterrestrials. You know, I have people that are extremely trustworthy, who would never lie, who have had profound spiritual experiences. You know, they have experiences of an afterlife and of people living on after death, and of being able to communicate with people. And that is not part of my experience.
Spiritual.
But these people are completely, 100% trustworthy. I have to live in this universe where I don't get to say what's real and what's not. These trustworthy people have experienced something profound, and it may be real.
And it changed their life.
They've seen people after they've died, or they've seen, you know, visitors from other planets. That gives me joy. I sure hope we live in a larger reality that I'm aware of. As a scientist, I pull back and say it's not my experience. It's not something I can measure yet. And so I live in this hope that someday we'll have more proof. I live in this hope that someday there'll be a signal we know is artificial. We see something we can't explain otherwise. We are visited clearly. You know,
That's exactly what I just said, bro.
I live in this sort of skeptical tightrope with hope that someday things will become more clear.
That's a great place to be. I love that.
I actually like it. To me, I think humility and compassion. You know, I think the world could use a lot more of that.
For sure.
Yeah, reserve judgment. Think about how different a human experience is. We don't understand what consciousness is. We don't understand how the human brain works. Is it possible somebody had a different experience of time? Maybe it is. You know, in science, what can we measure is powerful. We do things we should not be able to do, like catch waves of space and time, see light in space curve around a neutron star. And that's real. That's a measurement. Stick a pin in it, it's done.
It's real.
And leave humility and compassion for the experience of other humans.
How much are we limited by our senses?
Oh, yeah. I mean, is space and time a construct of our brains, actually? Seriously. I mean, not just, for a while now, ever since the late 1700s, we've known that there is light that our eyes don't detect. Mind-blowing. The human eye only detects a tiny amount of light that exists in the universe. Colors of light, that our eye just doesn't detect at all, are real. Some of the first measurement was William Herschel back in the late 1700s. He discovered infrared radiation. Is it even deeper than that? Are there...
Yeah, how much... Last thing, I'm going to pause on the video. If it's certain things we literally can't see, right? Don't you think this world looks totally different than what we see every day? There could be things watching us directly in our face, and we wouldn't know it. That shit is insane, bro. There are things that we just can't see that are here.
Friends who have experiences with people who are dead. Are there people that are sensitive to that and other brains are not? Maybe.
Who knows?
Is it possible that people have very different experiences of reality? mean, I will admit I'm a chicken. I've never actually done any hallucinogenic drugs. I have been tempted, because I do sometimes wonder if under that sort of influence, the filters of our brain are different. I mean, could you actually have an experience of something that could be real because your filters, how we perceive space and time in the universe, are changed by the drug? Like I said,
You feel me? That's why people who take that, what's that drug called? Ayahuasca. That's why people take ayahuasca, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I want to take ayahuasca one time, bro. Just to see, bro, the real world. You know what I mean? Ayahuasca is like one of them drugs that they used to take back in the olden days to get spiritually enlightened. Spiritually enlightened. That's what they used to do. Ayahuasca. And that's a legal drug you could buy.
Too much of a
It's
chicken,
crazy.
but I've always been curious about that. You know, is it possible different people have seriously different ways of experiencing the universe? Yeah, it may be.
We gonna go ahead and end the video right here, man. I'm not gonna lie. Let me know if y'all like this type of content. You know what I mean? Because honestly, a lot. Y'all let me know in the comment section, bro. I'll post. This is what I love. Like the hood content I've been posting and everything like that. I like it, but it's my life. You know what I mean? But this type of shit is the type of shit I love. You know what I mean? I like educating myself. I like, you know, learning. You know, I really love learning. Like, I love learning, bro. And it's like so many people out here don't understand how like the people that die and go to jail every day in my videos, right? All these reaction videos I do to the people that die and go to jail every day, everything that's going on the earth right now. Well, I say mostly the United States, but mostly the world, you know? Because really everything that happens in the United States happens damn near everywhere. You know what I mean? But I just really wish, like, a lot of people that have died, went to jail, and they in jail for the rest of their life. They are never getting out. I really wish that they could understand how I can't even find the word for it. I'm gonna say how important we are and how much we mean to the universe. You know, we are literally the product of an accelerated evolution. A lot of You gotta think about it, it's billions of planets. A lot of them don't get this what we got. You know, they don't have life. They don't have nothing on the planet. It's just death. If you go on the planet, you're gonna die. We are so lucky to have this chance that we have in life. And I would never take this for granted because it's so amazing, bro. Like, whatever we are, whatever we, you know, whatever happened to us to make us change is an amazing thing. And I don't know if the people that made us are evil. I don't know if the people that made us are good. But I'm going to just say, at the end of the day, we need to actually realize how important this life is we live. I don't know if we get reincarnated. I don't know what happens at the death. But yeah, life is an amazing thing. You should definitely cherish it. But nah, look, y'all hit that like button, that sub button, that hype button. We on the road to 500 subscribers. And comment. Let me know if y'all ever see this. if y'all like these videos, you know what I mean? Because I love educating myself and learning, you know. Y'all be safe out there, man. Have a good night, man. Trail 247 reacts back with another video. Y'all know what's going on. Love y'all.